I've started this new painting, and the idea of this video is to bring you through the process of completing this painting over the course of maybe about a week. I'm sort of planning to spend on it. And I started this painting in a recent live stream if you wanted to see how it started. And in that live stream, I also talked about my thinking behind what I want for this painting. And I had quite a lot of work done from this already. I'm going to show you a few pieces and then talk about what I want from this painting. And I'm going to show you some of the process, and I'm going to stop at the end of every day and tell you how I think the painting is progressing, because I think that would be an interesting subject for a viewer to see how a painter is thinking um, while they're going through the course of a painting. Okay, so there's one session done on that so far of about an hour and a half, and all the work that went before, there were several kind of finished-y looking things that went before. These are in oils as well. But I was speaking about what I wasn't happy with these, and why I'm starting another painting with a new approach. And I was saying that with these ones, I didn't like them because they were too literal a rendition of the scene that I was painting, which is okay, I think, in notebooks. And I did do a lot of notebook work as well, because it was plein airpel, it's called, which is just means going outside every day and painting. Um, and I went outside and did all these sketches, going back to the same spot as well as going to other spots. But I had painted this place last year, and I particularly wanted to go back to it because the painting I ended up with last year, I wasn't 100% pleased with it, and it's a difficult scene, a lot going on in it. But I don't want to show it like it's just a visual representation of the scene, a copy of the scene, if you like. And that's really what I was saying in that live stream about my approach for the new painting. It's getting away from that literal description of a scene and trying to get something more of the passion and my feeling for the place, because of course I was at that place a lot during the month and built up quite a lot of feeling about it. And so that's what the painting is about, as much or even more than it is about what the place looked like. So how do you get at that? I have a couple of tricks that I'm employing that are going to help me get there, like keep me on a little, if it was a little path I was going, these tricks might help keep me on the path. And they're kind of constraints, right? Sometimes constraints are good. One of the constraints is making a color scheme. And I have a color scheme going of a split complementary, which you do like this with a little rectangle, and you pick the main color of you want for the scene, which was green in this case because it was spring trees coming into bud and a lot of very vibrant greens in it. So green, the split complementary of green is you go across the complementary, and then on either side you get your split complementary. So my split complementaries of green are red orange and violet red. So green, red orange and violet red are the colors that I'll be working with in this painting. So today's session, you'll see me working this color here into a slightly more red end of that color wheel, because it's a little bit too towards the blue. I feel it's a little bit too over here on this side of the color scheme. So I'm trying to rein the color scheme into that, and then the other constraint is that I'm not making it a literal transcription of trying to copy in a very naturalistic way what's there. But you might notice there were cows in um, this version of the painting, and they're working their way back in, although they look a bit more like sheep, I have to say. Um, I am not going to worry too much about the appearances of things. I'm going to worry about whether it has the right feel, the feel of the place. So this will be interesting, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end of this session, which I don't know how long I'll be doing it, maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So one of the most, just before I start painting, one of the most useful references I have for this painting isn't photos or the other paintings, but this little sketch, because I liked the brushwork in just this small section here. So you might be able to see in the painting how that section influences my composition. So I don't mind if I don't get everything that was happening in the original drawings in the painting. But I do want this feeling on a bigger scale. Now I'm not copying it either, because it's going to kill the atmosphere of it if I just slavishly copy it. But I'm being inspired by this part of the drawing when I'm working. So I thought it was important to point that out. What am I working from nothing and just using my imagination, or I have any reference points? So apart from the color scheme, I'm working with this reference point. Might depart from it, but it's not. For me, it's nice to have a starting point. So I couldn't do too much of the painting with you behind me, because I'm having to come in at it sideways to actually paint if I film it. But you can see it's getting more literal over here anyway, because it's definitely got branches and things going. But the way I arrived there was very free, because I'm doing things like finding ways of doing things with little cross hatching things with a palette knife, and changing brushes regularly and doing little flicks in different size brushes with to create kind of light hitting leaves and things like that. So it's all, even this line of branches, skinny orange branches, is kept fairly spontaneous, because I'm using that little palette knife to do it, you see. I'm sort of drawing a palette knife in a way which is much less controlled than a paintbrush. But unexpected things happen that I like. So I'll continue on and show you a bit later in the session. This is I'm about 25 minutes into it. The literal thing is not that avoidable, really, because the minute you want to do anything to do with depth of field, you're into representation. And when you're into representation, you are dealing with a certain amount of literalness. So I don't mean to suggest that I'm going to be able to avoid it completely. I'm just not going to, I'm trying not to be a slave to it, you see, in the way I'm representing, because I want a lovely interplay of colours and light and forms that I can be a bit freer with than a slavish representation would allow me to be. There is one outside colour I'm allowing myself outside my colour scheme, and that is blue. It's really hard to do landscapes without having some blue, and I want little tiny touches of it for water reflections, but I'm going to have to be very controlled with it if I'm going to keep harmony within my colour scheme. But look, it's getting much more figurative, but in a lovely way. I hope it keeps going in this direction. Okay, so that was a good first day's painting. I'm really happy with what happened. And although it did go in a more literal direction, that's great because it didn't go in a very obvious way. And it has lots of nice painterly qualities and exciting passages in it that I think I can bring further. So I'm not painting myself into a dead end, hopefully. We'll see how the next session goes.